book of Psalms 40, verses 1 through 10. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the desolate pit, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. Happy are those who make the Lord their trust, who do not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after false gods. You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts towards us. None can compare with you. Were I to proclaim and tell of them, they would be more than can be counted. Sacrifice and offerings you do not desire, but you have given me an open ear. Burnt offerings and sin offerings you have not required. And I said, here I am. In the scroll of the book it is written of me. I delight to do your will, O my God. Your law is within my heart. I have told the glad news of deliverance in the great congregation. See, I have not restrained my lips, as you know, Lord. I have not hidden your saving help within my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your steadfast love and your faithfulness from the great congregation.
She grew up in a nation where they sought to stifle people, put them under control. They sought to regulate what people could do, what they could think, what they had access to. One of the things that they were concerned about is whether people were people of faith, people who had religion. But as in every case where oppressive regime, empire, kingdoms of this world try to keep people down, they really couldn't. Her spirit continued to soar, primarily impacted by her family's faith and by, wouldn't you know it, music. Her primary contacts with music were classical music, the folk singers of her nation, and underground music that was snuck in, the Beatles, Queen, and other great musicians. Try as they might, they could not repress her spirit, and she began to blossom as a human being and an artist. Psalms 40. I waited patiently on the Lord. Lousy translation, absolutely lousy. It really says, I cried and cried and cried out to God, and God inclined God's ear and heard me. It was as if I was in a miry bog, as if I were slogging through the pit, and God lifted me out. We don't know who the psalmist was. Could be David, could be somebody else. We don't even know the circumstances. But we do know the psalmist was saying, I cried and cried and cried out to God, and God listened, and God drew me out of the pit. Maybe you've had the experience of trying to slog through a muddy marsh or some sort of pit, or make a portage in Canada where you're, every step you don't know how far down you're going to sink, and then after you sink down about as far as you think you can, then are you going to be able to get your foot back out, or is the mud and the goop and the water going to pull you in even further as you try to transfer weight to the other foot that's just going to sink down into the mire? And sometimes you feel like you're not going to get out. Well, we know that in our lives. It doesn't have to be a repressive regime of a nation or some sort of empire in the world. We know that. You know that. Sometimes you're dealing with illness in your own life. Things that seem like it's a miry pit trying to pull you down. Now you're not going to get over it. nothing's going to help. And you cry out to God. And sometimes it's simply a life situation or circumstance, whether it's work or relationship or whatever else is going on, and you feel as if you are being bogged down forever. But maybe it's not you. Maybe it's a loved one, acquaintance, somebody you know. And you feel as if you're being bogged down because you're concerned about the other and you want them to get better. You pray for them. You hope. I stand in hospital rooms or hospital beds and I pray. And I pray and pray. And sometimes I feel like I'm slogging through a marsh or a bog and being pulled down. Are they going to get better? Is it going to work? Where are you, God? And yet, can we say with the psalmist that even when we feel the bog becoming most tedious, there are occasions when the presence of God almost reaches down and jerks us out of the clay and puts our feet on the rock. Finally, a solid place where I can stand and walk. It may not be out of the marsh or out of the bog. It could be right in the middle of it. But finally, some solid ground, at least for a moment. Now, many of you know this psalm, Psalms 40, and because you're fans of one of the great bands of the world, you guys can't answer because I told you the answer before, but fans of one of the great bands of the world that ended almost all of their concerts with this song they called 40. Let me give you, I'm not going to try to sing it, but it goes like this. Here's the lyrics of the song. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined and heard my cry. He brought me up out of the pit, out of the miry clay. I will sing a new song. I will sing a new song. Yeah, you too. Okay, you got it. All right. You too, the rock band, Bono. All right, well, rush home and listen. It's a great song. Yeah, after you help here. Thank you, Mimi. Yeah. Be-filled sax, set up for garage sale, set the garage sale till we have, then rush home and listen. Yeah. Oh, we'll pipe it in. All right, Kevin. You too, while we're setting up today. Yeah. We should play that all week long as people are shopping. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. One of the great things about being a preacher is you get to deal with scripture you might not deal with. I mean, I've read Psalms 40 before, probably more than once. But I didn't realize it was one of my favorite psalms until I really started digging into it. This is really a cool psalm. I really like it. It starts out this way. I cried and cried to the Lord. God inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the desolate pit, out of the miry bog, and set my feet on a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and be in awe and put their trust in God. A new song in our mouth and in our hearts. Now, don't you just love to learn new songs? I mean, I asked the folks at 8:30, don't you just love it when John goes through the hymnal of the songbook and finds some song that nobody's ever heard of before? And it's like, okay, and Louise or Joyce played the song, and we're all going, Huh? Or when Cross Focus pulls out a new one and said, oh, we really, really, really like this one. Let's all sing this together. And we're all going. I mean, new songs are wonderful. We all enjoy them. I mean, that's why I listen to only contemporary radio songs, never any of that classic rock stuff for me, because I want the new song. Yeah. I'm being a little bit sarcastic there. Yeah. I mean, I really dig that rap stuff and hip hop and I mean, my daughter's car, And yet, we are the people who follow Jesus, who say God is God and the Holy Spirit moves in our life and God makes all things new. We ought to be the people of a new song. A new song in our mouth, a new song in our hearts. God puts it there. As the psalmist goes on, happy are those who make the Lord their trust, who do not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after false gods. And we thought advertising and people telling us they figured everything out was something new. No, way back when, there were folks going around saying, hey, you want to straighten your life out? You want your life to be better? You want to lose weight? You want to gain weight? You want to look prettier? You want to look fatter? You want to look skinnier? You want anything? We've got the solution for you. We can tell you exactly how to do it. Follow my plan. Oh, send in plenty of money so you can know my plan and everything will work out fine. We're all tempted to trust gods other than God. Well, we all get drawn in by that and saying, well, maybe I need to hedge my bet just a little bit and, I'll trust in you, God, but, I really think if I had that'd make my life so much better. I mean, just think of it. A brand new Tesla S ludicrous model, the new model, ludicrous. 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. As Mr. Musk says, that's faster than gravity. Oh, man. My life would be really good if I had one of those. Of course, half of you say, what's he talking about? An electric car. How's that? Are we going to trust God or are we going to trust... Well, that's probably good. Are you keeping up with me? I'm sorry. I move around, aren't I? But listen to what the psalmist says. You have multiplied, Yahweh, my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. None can compare with you. Were I to proclaim and tell them, they would be more than could be counted. This is a psalm. This is not the prophets. This is not some sort of New Age theology. This is a psalm from millennia ago. Listen to the language. Sacrifice and offering you do not desire. Wasn't the psalmist a part of the nation of Israel? But it says, sacrifice and offering you do not desire. Time for the test, Micah 6:8. You probably remember. Micah 6:8. And what does the Lord require? But to do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. Micah knew that. Isaiah knew that. Amos knew that. The prophets knew that. So the psalmist. But you have given me an open ear. You've heard that before, haven't you? That, giving me an open ear. Then it goes something like, pay attention and listen. It's right there. Pay attention and listen. You guys think I make this up every Sunday, don't you? It's there. It's there. It would be in your Bible too. It really would. you have not required. Then I said, here I am. The response to God's presence. Here I am. In the scroll of the book it is written of me, I delight to do your will, O my God. Your law is within my heart. Not in a word, not in the word. God's way is in our hearts. I've told the glad news of deliverance in the great congregation. See, I've not restrained my lips. As you know, O Lord, I have not hidden your saving help within my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your steadfast love and your faithfulness from the great congregation. You got to tell people your story. Yes, we trust God. We believe God has been good to us, but we have to share that with folks. We have great opportunities. We're going to do it this afternoon, and we have a chance to. I know not everybody can. And, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to go. You have something to do, go do it. But when we get ready for Be Filled, when we get ready for the garage sale, that's a part of the process. Telling people of God's love and God's goodness. And then when folks come tomorrow afternoon and we give food to the hungry, that's offering God's love. And when they say, well, why in the world are you doing this? It's hot. Why are you doing this? And say, oh, I've been so loved by God. I just want to share with you. And this garage sale, I mean, this is a real ministry, folks. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. It's hot. It's sweaty. It's miserable. Those tables are heavy. Setting up just right. And then going through all the delightful items that we have gathered. And I mean, it's like, who gave this? I kept walking around last year saying, have they taken all my cups yet? And then you bring this treasure, say, I'm going to part with this, and you have this treasure. You're sitting out there at the money table, and they bring up this treasure, and you say, I know that's worth 80 or 120 bucks, and they pull out a nickel, and you're like, like the love of God. Oh. And when people say, this is something, isn't it? You say, yeah, it is. It's just one aspect of God's overwhelming love. This huge garage sale is in reality a humongous act of love and grace and hospitality. It really is. Thank you. Wow. But what about this song business? God put a new song in our mouths, a new song in our hearts. We can't sing. Maybe you've heard me try. Okay. Oh, yeah. I thought about that. What does it mean to sing a new song? Well, it could be learning a new song, and God touches us, and we sing a song that we've never imagined before. But I also got to thinking, what if it's been an old song that suddenly we sing in a new way, that we're renewed, that our spirit is new, and we're singing in a way that we've never heard, experienced, or felt before. God, when the Spirit, the divine, moves in our life, we begin to sing a new song. Let me share a new song with you. I started out, there was a woman, lived in a repressive regime. This is a great song. It's titled "The Prayer of Francis Villon." Okay, I think you'll recognize it right off. Yeah, I'll turn the mic on. Larry's laughing.
Пока земля еще вертится, пока еще ярок свет, Господи, дай Ты каждому, чего у него нет. Умному дай голову, трусливому дай коня, дай счастливому денег и не забудь про меня.
Y'all recognize that, right?
She does. She does.
Yes! I'm going to translate it. No, it's good. So, no, not you translate it. I've got to translate it up here. Okay. When she was 9 years old, growing up in the Soviet Union in the 1980s, finally Petra, whatever that is, Perestroika came along, and her family, they were Jewish, applied to be able to leave. Not only were they repressed just simply because they were peons in Russia, but they were also Jews, which made them even less popular. And so they applied to be able to leave, and they left, and they came to Brooklyn. She was 9 years old, and she didn't know a word of English. One of the most difficult parts of leaving Russia, immigrating to America, they had to leave their mother's grand piano behind. Her mother was a pianist, classical pianist, a piano teacher. Music had been a big influence in their lives, and when they came to America, they struggled to get by. She says her father got a job in one of those places that develop film overnight. And one morning he was on the subway going back to Brooklyn. He saw another man on the subway with a violin case, and they struck up a conversation. And the man found out who they were and they were doing. The man said, "Well, I'll tell you what, my wife and I are getting ready to go on tour in Spain. So why don't you and your family come over tonight and listen to our concert? We really enjoy that." Young woman says she remembers dressing up and trudging up a hill and going to this delightful house that was so welcoming and so friendly. And they sat and listened to this man and woman play the concert they were getting ready to take on tour, violin and piano. And the young woman said, in my impetuousness, as soon as they were done, I just blurted out, "Would you be my piano teacher?" The interviewer said, "Well, had the woman ever heard you play?" And she said, "No, first time we met." And I just blurted out, "Would you be my piano teacher?" And the woman said, "Yes, I will." And she was her piano teacher and never charged her a penny. At first, the young woman merely played. Excellent pianist. She said, "At the time, I did not realize my voice was also an instrument." But she got to go on a trip to Israel with other young artists. And she said while she was there, somebody said, "Have you ever thought about singing?" And she started playing and singing and writing music. You've heard her, and you probably didn't know it. Some of you may know who Regina Spektor is, but a lot of her music is a favorite of television producers, and she's on the lead-in to a lot of different television shows, background music, and so forth. The album I took this from was The View from the Cheap Seats. And she put this song together from her native Russia. It's a prayer of Francis Beyond. It was written by Russian poet and singer-songwriter. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Bulat Okudzawa. Yeah, right. Which appears on Regina Spektor's album, What We Saw from the Cheap Seats. It goes like this. As long as the world's still turning, as long as the air is still sweet, Lord, will you give to all of us whatever it is we need? Give a mind to the wise one, a shield to the enemy. Give some gold to the happy man. And don't forget about me. As long as the world's still turning, Lord, if it be your will, give to the hungry for power a kingdom to rule his fill. Give some rest to the generous under a shady tree. Wash the stain from the face of Cain. And don't forget about me. I know that your powers are wondrous. I believe that your ways are wise. The way that a fallen soldier believes he's in paradise. The way every breathing being believes in your gentle word. The way in our utter oblivion we keep on believing, O Lord. My wise, my all-merciful, my sweet Lord of sea green eyes, as long as the world's still turning to its eternal surprise, as long as it still has plenty of fire and destiny, give a little to everyone, and don't forget about me. A new song. Bless everyone. And if you please, don't forget about me. Sometimes I'm amazed at the movement of God. A family in Russia. Music and faith are part of their lives. And they suddenly have the opportunity to leave and come to America. And through a happenstance encounter with a man on the subway, a young woman is developed into a musician, an artist, and a songwriter, sending music out into our world, touching the lives of people as God puts a new song